everyone. Welcome to It Tastes Different Gaming Appetizers. And what are we talking about this time? Diablo 4. And how players demand, some do, that the game return to the good old days by ending a key feature. Before we get started, make sure to like the video. Make sure to subscribe. You don't have to like it if you don't want to, I guess. But that helps out. And subscribe. Anywho, some Diablo 4 players are calling on Blizzard to abolish the game's seasonal content and instead just provide content updates like older games. Diablo 4 is on its 7th season, and while the witch powers have gone down well with fans, some are growing tired of the seasons. This may be because they've run out of classes to try and don't want to keep starting new ones, or some may simply be bored of in-game content. During Season 7, Diablo's original creator expressed his own frustration with the game, and there's a growing sentiment that Diablo was better when it was all about completing quests rather than endlessly grinding. So I don't know if you saw, or maybe did or didn't see, the original creator. He had talked about Diablo and basically saying that, you know, back in the day, it was all about like building your character and doing quests and things like that instead of just endlessly grinding for more and more stuff. Like instead of being an MMO, is all about story and you know, he said basically he thinks that RPGs in general have started to lean into this: kill swaths of enemies all over the place extremely quickly. Your build is killing all sorts of stuff so you could get even more drops, you can level up, and the screen is littered with stuff that you don't care about. That's pretty much what he said. So now some members of the Diablo 4 forum have suggested that Blizzard should get rid of seasons altogether. Instead, they suggest that there should be a periodic content updates added to the Eternal Realm so that all players can enjoy them and whenever they want. So basically, get rid of seasons. A post reads, get rid of seasons and just have the content updates and expansions like the good old days. Seasons are unnecessary and actually detrimental to the longevity of games. I will not create a new character each season for any game. Sorry, not happening. I would prefer to continue playing my existing character and experience new content with it rather than starting over from scratch. If the new content is mid-level, and then if I really want to experience it, I would create a new character to do so. Some supported this sentiment, but expressed doubt that Blizzard would ever make such a radical change. One said, I'm with you all the way on that, but that's not going to happen. Blizzard is making too much off of the shop and Battle Pass. If seasons aren't for you, then just pop in whenever the expansions are released. Others suggested that the seasonal reset motivates them to keep playing, saying it is the reset that keeps me coming back. It would take a lot of new content every few months to keep me at the same level of engagement. Class and build balance would need to be fixed and kept stable. Now, Diablo 3 had seasons, and so does Diablo Immortal. However, the mobile game doesn't force players to make a new character every season. Instead, Immortal periodically adds fresh content for all players to enjoy, while Diablo 4 locks most new content behind seasons and rarely adds to the Eternal Realm. While some would prefer Diablo 4 to shift to the Diablo Immortal way of doing things, others love starting a new character each season and don't experience the same fatigue. One solution to the problem would be for Diablo 4 to continue running seasons but add new content to the Eternal Realm each time, ensuring all players have a reason to return. So before we get to these guys, I'll give you my 2 cents or 3 cents or maybe Diablo 4 cents. For me personally, seasons are probably the only reason I come back to Diablo 4. Every time a new season releases, for me personally, I usually come back and I'll play that season. I usually get through the season content pretty quickly, and then I don't touch Diablo again until the next season comes out. Right. But I really don't want to play it in that way because it feels like I'm not really, I don't know. They don't really do much to the Eternal Realm, right? The Eternal Realm is pretty much static and they don't add anything to it. So you're really just set 2 seasons, and the seasons some are better than others, but they're not as engaging as what Diablo 3 had with seasons. And maybe I don't know, I didn't play into the seasons of Diablo Immortal, but maybe what they're doing on the Diablo Immortal side of things. I think Diablo 4 is definitely lacking in some regards with the way that they're pushing content and doing things. I don't know what the fix for that necessarily is, but I can definitely see people getting burnt out on coming back and doing these seasons only to really grind out the battle pass, and that's about it, right? Grind the battle pass out because the story content's okay and the stuff they add's okay, but it doesn't really add a lot to it. And so I think most people probably come in to grind out the battle pass, and then once the battle pass is ground out, then they leave, right? And don't come back until the next season. And usually the seasons are so long, which makes sense. But most people that, like myself, a gamer like myself, I can go in there and within a couple of weeks, I'll have the battle pass done and the content done and be like, okay, I'll be back in 6 months when season 8 comes out, right? Or whatever the next season is, or however long they are between each other. I don't think there's 6 months. I think they're like 3 months or something like that. But still, I think there's definitely stuff that they could do to help Diablo 4 have a return of its players. And I don't know what the right way of doing that is. So we'll go around and see what everybody else thinks. Pat, what do you think? What's your ideas? You got any ideas for what Diablo could do?
No, I hate the Diablo 4 process for seasons. I feel I don't mind making a new character every season, but I don't like the way that Diablo 4 does. I like the way that Diablo 3 did it better with seasons because I didn't feel like I had to redo the entire game. With Diablo 4, you have to really do the whole game again. It feels like it, I'm running all over the map doing the same damn quest over and over. But with Diablo 3, I could just hop in and do some rifts and power level myself up in like a matter of an hour or two, and I could be ready to hit the in-game content. That was what the battle pass was all about, right? Because it was, or not battle pass, but season pass, the season journey, I should say, because that's what they called them in the Diablo 3 was the season journeys, right? So to get this armor set and all this stuff, and then when it was over, it would transfer my Paragon points and all that stuff over. And then Diablo 4 came out, and I did one season after the original game, but it just felt like I was redoing the whole map again. And to me, I was just like, this is boring. I just did this. I don't want to do it again, even though it's a new class, a new character. And I'm just like, I just don't like it. And obviously the battle pass, the paid for portion of the battle pass, I'm like, no, not for me, because I don't find enough enjoyment out of it to give them more money. And I don't think the items in the battle pass are worth it, in my opinion, but that's my opinion. I found Diablo 4 to be rather boring compared to like the predecessors. I did not find the enjoyment out of it that I got out of like 1, 2, and 3. I felt like 4 was just designed as a live service, like separate me from my cash game. The difference between that and Diablo Immortal was the mobile aspect of it. And obviously, there's a lot more mobile aspects to Immortals, right? With the way that the item store is and everything like that. The item store in Diablo 4 is mostly centered around cosmetic skins and stuff like that. Whereas Immortal is more centered around, to get more powerful, you need these shards and these things, and you have to buy them if you want to get this in any expedited fashion. So
I wonder if it's the map in Diablo 4, right? Because the map is like one big giant map and not segmented off like in previous like Diablo games.
Yeah, like the axe.
Yeah. So like, because I wonder if that would make them, that would allow them, having it segmented, allows them to be able to do, because like in Diablo 3, when they had seasons, like they would say, okay, you're going to this area that you've already been to before, but you go there and it's completely different, right? Because they can just load it in differently, for that particular season. But in this one, it's like, oh, you're going here. Well, now this place is purple, right, instead of red. And it's like, okay,
yeah, exactly.
It's not as cool.
All right. But, and because of the way that the battle pass system is structured in Diablo 4, I feel like if I want to make sure that especially if you're going to pay for the battle pass, I feel like you have to rush it to make sure that you can get all the pieces of the battle pass done. Whereas in 3, I was like, cool, I want to get the armor set, the complete set that's in this season journey. And to get that, I got to make it to the end, and I want to get the cool, like, accessory, whether it's the wings or whatever. And I'd work towards it, but I wouldn't feel too bad if I didn't make it. Because I played quite a few season journeys in Diablo 3, but in 4, they're like season 7 or some shit like that. And I played one season and the main game, and I'm like, I have no desire to want to return. And And all of the friends that I used to play with in Diablo 3 season journeys, they don't even play the seasons in Diablo 4. They are not. They think the same thing. They're boring, having to redo the entire map and the same quests. That's the problem, is you're just doing the same fucking quest over and over and over, and it's so boring. It's so boring to me. Because it's not like that they add new things, right? Like they add new, like whatever. I can't remember what this last one is, but like the other one, they had like blood thing where you had to go in and pump blood into the little sacks and you spawn crap and get stuff out of it, and you're just like, okay. And so I feel like to get to that content, so basically to get to max level so you can run the season content, is just too boring of a slog for me. And so I don't get involved with it. It's boring and not for me. And I obviously don't have enough time to play a game that has a paid for battle pass, because there's too many of those games out there anymore. And Diablo is farthest from my mind when I think of a live service game that I just want to play. For me anyway. And I don't know, Nick, do you pay for the battle pass, or do you just forego that piece of the battle pass and just do the free track?
I have enough coins from buying like the expansion and stuff like that I haven't paid for a battle pass. I don't think I've ever paid for a battle pass in the game. I've just always had enough coins on me, because you can get coins out of the battle pass too.
I was gonna say, when you bought the original game and the I think you buy the season 1 pass, it came with a crap ton of coins, and then
and then the expansion came with a bunch of coins. So I have so many coins that I've just been able to buy them. And then there's coins in the battle pass, so that's just added back into my coin collection. So I haven't had to buy a battle pass outright. Right.
So that's my problem with it. I just don't have time, and I find the main storyline boring of the game. So that to me is, and having to repeat that every almost 3 months or whatever is just not for me. I can't remember if the season is 10 weeks or if it is a full 12 weeks. I can't remember. In Diablo 4. But like I said, I just find the slog to get to that content just not fun anymore. Diablo 4 is not a fun game for me. It is for a lot of people out there, but to me, I just feel like it's more work than it's worth. So, and I'm a huge fan of Diablo. I played so much Diablo 3 season journeys and stuff that it's just insane. And I would re-roll same characters, but it's like, okay, this season, I feel like, so Diablo 3 had like a little bit of a hitch too, right? Like, so every class had like a specialty, it felt like, for each season, right? It's like, okay, this is the barbarian's whirlwind build, or this is the barbarian's avalanche build, or this is the season for that, because the season armor that you're collecting, I can't remember what the green armor, I can't remember what they called it, what was legendary, whatever, was geared towards that build. And you're like, okay, I'm going to run this, and as I get more pieces, I can make this build more viable to run like the highest torment 20s or whatever, torment, whatever the hell you're trying to run. And you're like, okay, cool. I need this RNG drop for this weapon because I got the whole armor set, and I need the ring, and I need, this that aren't part of the armor set, but the armor set was a given, right? The armor set's a given that I'm going to get that. So I'm going to build towards this season's optimal build. So I had something to work for. And you're like, once the game's over, you transfer that character from season journey to full game, and you have that armor set and extra Paragon points. And now it's like, I don't feel like there was any of that kind of direction in this current one. It's just like, hey, do the content and then carry over your Paragon and this and that. And I'm just like, whatever, I'm bored. So that's me. What about you, Shane? I think you probably are the least Diablo fanish of the group because you didn't play much of 4 with us.
No, I didn't like 4. I enjoyed 3 a lot more with you guys. Now, granted, I'm not a huge Diablo guy. I like playing with you guys, but I felt 4 was nowhere near as good as 3. Now, that's coming from a Diablo virgin, I guess. I mean, because I just don't play the Diablos much. So, but far as a gamer goes, I think the season crap they're doing is garbage. There's no substance to any of this. It's kind of like Grandma's Boy when they were talking, how they're going to complete these game designs. They're like, oh, just change the color on this character, and that's what they're doing. They're just changing colors and dropping some more crap out there. And I don't want to grind myself to death in a game, any game, even a nice RPG. I don't want to grind to the point where I'm bored. And that's what Diablo seems, especially 4, seems to be doing. I love a good RPG, but if I feel I have to grind 20 hours just to complete this next boss after I've been playing the game for 60 hours, I don't feel that's a game I want to play. Especially if there's no real substance to the game, no real storyline, nothing that really guides you forward except for the knowledge that I'm going to max out another character. Nick will sit on a glass jar just to max out a character. He's in a game, he plays it no matter how crappy it is. He's going to play it, he's going to max it, he's going to complete it. That's just Nick. Me, I can't do that. It's just not my thing. But I think most gamers would probably agree. Go back to to non-seasoned dog crap where it's just it's a milk. That's all they're doing. It's just milking. They're changing characters from blue to green to yellow, back to green, but green with a nice hue of purple on his crown. It's this game has been a cash grab. Kind of, I think I like the Immortals better. Honestly, sorry, I think I enjoyed it more. It was a little too much grind, but I think I enjoyed it better myself.
You know what I enjoy better?
Diablo
1 and 2.
So, and one of the things that I hate is the renown system in 4. I think that's what really drives me the most annoyed is the renown system, because you have to repeat the renown system every time. And the renown system is a freaking grind, in my opinion. But
see, that's laziness when they force players to do that just to fill in time.
Right. Well,
that's all it is. That's why you guys gave me shit about Final Fantasy Remake. It's like it was too much filler. That's what these games do. They fill instead of giving you content and story and gameplay and missions. They just make you rehash the same shit over and over.
I felt Diablo 3 was way more generous with the season journey rewards too. Like in Diablo season 3, you would get things like you would get gear, you would get like these accessories like wings and pets and things like that. Every season in Diablo 3 had like a pet that you could get that would grab your gold and stuff, and do all that for you. And then you get cool wings at the end. It felt like there was a lot more of that. And since the item store in Diablo 4 is where they have a lot more of those cosmetics, it seems like they've removed that from the journey so that you have to buy them with the premium currency, right? And so I feel like the seasons are a lot less rewarding in Diablo 4. And there's stuff that I don't, I want to run around with the cool new wings or the cool new pet every season. And then when the new season comes out, everybody can see, oh, look, he's already got the pet and the wings and all this stuff, and it felt like that was what Diablo 3 season journey was all about. The Diablo 4 is just like, hey, go to the item mall and buy this. We're not going to put this in the season journey for you. If you want the cool wings or you want the cool pets, then go get them out of the season store. So it's cash grab to me, it feels like. Whereas Diablo 3 was a lot more giving with the season items and rewards. And like I said, I hate the renown system with a passion.
Yeah, the battle pass in Diablo 4 is definitely not. Sometimes they have some cool armor sets, but majority of it's junk. I would say 90% of it's junk that you don't really care about. And then you'll get occasionally a cool armor set, which is usually toward the end, or a cool like mount. This time they did have a pet, had a bird, a raven, which was a part of the not a part of the battle pass, but it was a part of the season journey, which is cool. But again, that's the first time they've had an animal, like you were saying, in that season journey. Usually it's just a bunch of boxes that have crap in them, which even the stuff from the season journey that you get that are the boxes that are the boxes full of, whatever weapons or armor. Most of the time, they're not even worth putting on. Like half the time you just get a bunch of drops. That's another thing about Diablo 4 is 90%, and they've tried to fix this some, but majority of the stuff that drops is worthless. You spend most of your time breaking down or selling everything that drops from enemies, especially you get to that soft cap in the game. There's a soft cap not on levels, but on items that you equipped, where you very rarely get an item that'll drop, no matter what torment you're in, because it goes up to Torment 4, and I have a Necromancer that's in Torment 4 for this last season, and I don't know the last time I had something drop that was better than what I'm already have on me, right? And so after I finished the battle pass and the season journey and everything like that, I'm like, okay, it doesn't end till April, but I finished it in January when it started, or February when it started. I can't remember which month it started in. And now what do I do? Like nothing. I just wait till the next season comes around because I literally have nothing to do. Like I could go and grind more crap, but what am I grinding for? Like I'm not grinding for anything. I feel like even Diablo 2 didn't have seasons or anything like that. They had like the ladder system and stuff, and they had the ladder system now in the remake. But like when Diablo 2 back in the day, like I made so many characters and played through that game so many freaking times looking for like trying to get the best build and stuff. It was just so different than, and same way with Diablo 3 before they started the seasons. And then I played seasons and stuff like that too. But you kind of miss out on that, right? On Diablo 4. It feels like you're kind of like what you guys were saying. No matter what, you're repeating the same stuff over and over again to get, from point A to point B. There is no like change in your in the way that you go. So I don't know what Diablo can do, or what Blizzard can do with Diablo. I don't think they're hurting. Unfortunately, I think the Battle Pass and the shop is doing very well for Blizzard, so they don't need to change something that's bringing in money for them. But I wish they would get dethroned, right, by like Path of Exile 2 and some of these other ARPGs that are coming out there that are doing this same type of thing, but way, way better. And Blizzard or Activision, probably in more case, need to be humbled by that, because I know Diablo Immortal especially is doing like really freaking well for Blizzard. Last time I read, they're not anymore. Oh, they are. Okay.
They are. I just hate that it's doing well.
Yeah, right.
That's nothing but a freaking
cash grab. But yeah, it's doing really well for them. Last time I read about it, I think it was their like most successful Diablo, right? As far as like money goes, like making money.
Well, I mean, when every step of the way is give me $2, give me $5, you got to make money somehow, right?
And it's stuff like that. So it's like incentives like that, right? When games like Diablo,
least amount of work makes you the most money.
Right. And that just incentivizes these companies to keep creating this stuff. Right. So, as far as gamers go, like the gamers that don't participate, I understand, but the gamers that do participate and then bitch about like, why do they keep doing this? They keep doing this because it makes the most money. Right. And you, or maybe other gamers such as yourself, keep pumping the machine, keep putting quarters into that machine, right? That keeps it churning. And it's like, if you stop, they'll stop, right? If it stops making money for them, they won't put that stuff out there. But as long as it's making them hand over fist cash, they're going to keep pumping that crap out as much as they can.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
we've
why
said
we keep
it 1,000 times.
Games, right? That's why
we've said it 1,000 times. You are the problem if you continually do the things you're bitching about.
Right.
I mean, Diablo, people that constantly buy these things, they're just hurting themselves in the long run, and they're just too addicted. They're too, I don't even know how to describe it. They're not thinking things through. It's like, okay, if I don't buy this, and then they realize people aren't going to pay for this kind of crap, maybe they'll do something different and better. Or I could just give my money and say, screw it, which is what they're doing.
Yeah.
I'm just tired of the way the gaming industry has become. What can I do to make more money besides make a great game?
What can I do? What's the least amount of effort I can put into something to get the most amount of money out of my game?
Yep.
And that is live service, item shop, battle pass.
Yep. What's Deadpool? Maximum effort to do as little as possible.
Yeah, it's minimum effort, maximum cash.
Yep. It's sad. It's sad state of gaming.
Yeah,
that's where we are. And enough people play it. The Diablo 4 is successful in the item shop and the battle pass.
Yeah, they don't need 1 billion gamers. They just need 1 million who are willing to fork out a lot of money.
Well, I mean, they get, according to the statistician sites, they are, they have an active player base of about 169,000 on average, and then monthly they go up to about 3 million active players, which is probably coincides with the seasons, right?
Yeah,
right.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Get in there,
And even like $20 skins, which is most of them are. Supposedly they make pretty good money off of that. So I've never bought a skin. I mean, there's some cool skins on there, but I'm just like, I look at the price and I'm like,
no,
I couldn't even. No,
man, I need Diablo coins so I can look like Harry Potter.
It's cool looking skin, but I'm not paying $20 for that. That's like a third of the game.
Nope. Give me a skinwalker, walk around butt naked with my balls hanging out.
Yeah, just 3 balls.
Yeah,
just my balls.
I think what they say
armor
back
on
in
top, nothing on bottom.
I think back in September they said that Diablo 4 is reportedly make them like $150 million from microtransactions.
Yeah, just from the item shop and battle pass.
Yeah,
that's stupid.
Which means that and they said that means that it basically gave them they made $1 billion off of that game already. And $150 million of that was microtransactions, and the rest of it was base game plus early access. That whole big package that I bought into the big early package for them.
I did too,
with all the DLCs and the season pass or whatever that was supposed to come out. The season 1 pass or whatever. And I don't think I got my money's worth because I abandoned the game after by the time the first season came out. I had already stopped playing and only came back for a couple of weeks and played with Nick, and I'm like, I'm bored with this and the grind. I didn't want to do the grind again. So but yeah, I mean, if the game makes them $150 million in microtransactions alone every year, they'll probably just keep pumping out the minimum they can, and then they'll be like, hey, guess what, guys, we got a DLC coming out for another $45 to $50 that you have to buy to get the extra. And what we put in this one, we put in a new class for you.
Yeah. I mean, because the last season was okay, right? I mean, the new environment was all right, and the new class is pretty cool, but the story still didn't really add to the whole Mephisto. And, it was kind of like a side story about, it did center around her and Mephisto, but it was really kind of like about the other tribe down there and his whole thing and everything like that. And it still didn't conclude anything or really, really didn't move the story along much. And everything like that. So
they got to milk this game for another 15, 20 years. So they got to drip feed that stuff. Here's a drop.
Drip feed that. Yep. Next, they're
going to become the experts at a system that Destiny devised, right? We're going to drip feed you a little bit of that story, You think Destiny was slow to roll out their story? Blizzard's better at it.
Blizzard said, "Hold my beer. Let me show you how this is done."
So the glass was empty.
They already drink it. All right. Well, I don't know. Let us know down in the comments below what you all think. How do you play Diablo 4? Are you enjoying the seasons? If not, or if you do, or whatever, do you think it needs to be fixed? I still play the seasons, but I do think that Diablo 4 something needs to be done with it. I mean, the only problem is there's no incentive for them to change it, right? It's working for them, so they're making money, and that's really all that matters. But, for the love of the franchise, I would love for them to fix the franchise because I love Diablo. It's one of my favorites from Blizzard. I love that whole, angels versus demons and that whole thing. Like, I love the whole setting and everything of Diablo.
It's a good story. It is a good story. It's just they don't progress it far enough. And
they just don't do enough with it, which I mean, they've made something really cool, right? And they just, the same thing with like StarCraft, right? I mean, StarCraft hasn't seen anything new since StarCraft 2. That's been a long time ago, right? They're all about World of Warcraft and Diablo live services, right?
StarCraft the next stuff
that gives them continuous revenue. That's what they're after, and without having to pump a lot of development into something new.
Right. I mean, and, if they do make a new StarCraft, it'll be like some sort of live service StarCraft. something.
StarCraft 3 boxes of loot.
Boxes of loot. I got a box of loot. All right. Well, anyway, let us get over here. Give me that box. Anyway, let us know down in the comments below what everybody else thinks. Other than that, thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure you like the video, subscribe if you're not already. Help us out. Do us a favor. But we'll see you next time.
See ya.